And that was the realization I had. I have one life to live, it's short, and it's getting shorter. Why am I delaying what I know I need to do?
How do you help someone to get clarity on their purpose?
Yeah.
Like, what are some of the tools, what are some of the questions you usually use?
Right. So I believe that every one of us is unique. And I mean, you can actually logically, see that.
Yes.
There's 7-8 billion people in the world. No two are the same. And even just look at the two of us, right? I mean, we don't look the same, we don't think the same, we are very different from different backgrounds. However, in one thing, we are the same. And the fact is that you have something unique inside yourself. And I have something unique inside myself, right? You are, at the moment, the top of your game, which is marketing and branding and, doing the entire processes for companies, and you're running a massive agency, right? And I'm at the top of my game. That's what people say, that you're the number one wisdom coach in the world. That's what they started to call me.
Yeah.
Now, that just shows that we have unique talents, right? Fulfillment, wholeness doesn't come from making money. Wholeness comes from fulfilling that talent that you have, putting it to good use. And the only way we can put it to good use is to find people who need it. Right? That's the secret of success. So just finding my talent is just the beginning. And I find that when I go within. So it's about lessening the external noise and listening to the inner voice. Because we live in a world of noise. Everywhere we go, there's just more and more noise on us. And now more than ever before. I mean, COVID has drastically increased the level of noise in the world. Right? Because everyone, as you are aware, is on social media and digital media. And even before that, Gabriel, from the time we are born, people are telling us what our life should be. People are guiding us, communities, cultures, religions often, parents, families are telling us how we should live. So we actually get conditioned and we get programmed to simply fulfill what the world wants from us, rather than finding our true purpose. So the purpose is found once we learn how to be silent to that external noise, to louden that inner voice and learn to listen to it. So there are techniques in meditation, mindfulness, and I also teach that to my clients, which helps them to figure out what they're here for. What is the purpose of their life? And look, because I'm called a person of wisdom. I am a person of wisdom. It's my foundation. When I look at the masters of wisdom in the world, I notice a few things. The world is changed by people who have a message, not who have a product. When you have a message, like, for example, masters like Jesus did, or Buddha did, or Krishna did, they are impacting the world 2,000, 4,000 years later. Right? So what did they do? When I look at their life, because they were my first heroes in a way, growing up. I said, wow, how are these? One person can change millions and millions of people. How does that happen? What kind of impact and influence do they have? And what did they do? Did they look for the problem that people had? No, they didn't. They first figured out what they were here for. They first figured out their purpose, and then they decided to take it to the people who needed that. So our purpose is the solution for somebody else's problem. So we figure out the purpose first. What's the purpose of my company? What's the purpose of my life? What's the purpose of my talent? And then we take it to the market, wherever the market may exist. And those people are the ones we serve. So it is all about serving. Right? But it's not serving for the profit, it's serving for the purpose. The profit is the result. Success is always an outcome. Success is always a consequence. We create the cause, we get the consequence.
So in a way, what you're saying is that when we're all born, we all have a purpose and we have certain talent that is placed in us, and that we need to find it so that we can use it as a service, to be of service to others.
Absolutely.
Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. I say it's all about service. In fact, I have a formula I would love to share. I have a 3-step formula that I coach companies on, and I do high-level sales for people, and I coach teams of sales. So it's a 3S formula. It starts with serve, right? The first S is serve. So we must be able to serve other people's problems, but with what? Right? We serve it with our skills, we serve it with our talents, we serve it with what drives us, what we are good at. So that's the first part. That's finding my own purpose and my own talents, right? People call it passion, people call it purpose. I say you must figure out what you're here to do.
Okay.
So the first part is to be able to serve.
Okay.
When you're able to serve, it means you've got the other person, the other company, the client, the customer in your focus. It's not about you, it's about taking care of their life, it's about making their life better.
Yeah.
So that's the serve part. But then once you're able to serve them, you've also got to sell them on your value.
Yep.
Right? So sales is very important. It's the number one skill everybody needs to learn.
Yeah.
Because I may have found my purpose and I know I need to go out and change the world, but if I can't sell my purpose,
Yeah.
if I can't sell the value I have, nobody's going to pay me $1.
Yeah. It's kind of like you may know, okay, you may know what your value is, but if you cannot communicate the value, no one's going to pay you money for it.
Absolutely. Right? So sales is very, very important. In fact, it's the bridge. So serve, then sell, and then the third step, the third S is succeed.
Okay.
So success follows. Success is profits, it's a high valuation, it's, you sell your company, whatever it may be. But in the end is the success. The success is not at the beginning. People are so focused on success. People are, I've seen people, they start out with the company and their idea is, I want to be the next unicorn. I want to, in 2 years, I want to make it $1 billion company.
Yeah.
And I say it's the completely wrong strategy. It's not going to work that way.
Yeah.
With that attitude, who's going to fund you? Who's going, how are you going to get your clients? So the attitude has to be driven by service.
Okay.
We are here to serve others. Finally, listen, I believe this, right? From the Stoic masters to the ancient Asian masters to modern day teachers and coaches, we have all said that when we die, and we will, what do we take with us? We don't take a single dollar. So it can't be about the money,
Yeah.
right? If you can't take it with you, it's not about the money. You can't spend your whole life about that.
Yeah.
So money is just a means to live a good life.
Yeah.
So we need it. Definitely we need it. But when I go from this planet, from this life, what I take with me is the experiences I've had. It's that sense of fulfillment that I fulfilled my purpose, my talent, my journey on earth. Right? That must drive us. Finding the prospect, finding the problem of the prospect comes after that. That's my philosophy. That's the big philosophy we work on.
So 3S, right? So serve, sales, success.
So that's my story. That's how I became a wisdom coach.
That's interesting because I do have a question for you. Like it all goes down to like that defining moment when you're 29 and you decided to make the decision to leave everything you have, right? That takes courage. And I think for the people listening here, I think many a times we have an idea of what we need to do. Okay? I kind of get what you're saying. Like we always have an idea, like our inner voice is always telling us that we need to do something, right? But not every one of us have the courage to be like you just dropped everything and you took off and you went to start a new life. What gave you that courage? What was what defined that moment for you to say, okay, I'm gonna drop this, I'm gonna leave? Yeah.
I came to the realization, Gabriel, that time, that I have only one life to live. That was the realization. And this is one of my core teachings now. We all have just one life. There are no second chances here. So I was 29. And see, none of us know how long we will live. So I knew life is short. I was 29, maybe I'll live till 79, who knows, maybe 69. But it's a fixed amount.
Yeah.
We are not here permanently. So I have 50 years left, let's say.
Yeah.
So I knew it's short. 50 years is like this,
Yeah.
right? And I knew the more I delay, the shorter it's getting. And that was the realization I had. I have one life to live, it's short, and it's getting shorter. Why am I delaying what I know I need to do? And sure, it's hard, and sure, no one knows me, and who'll come to me, and I had all these ideas. I want to put my wisdom out in books. I want to go out and train the world. I want to, show people how to be successful and also how to be stress-free and how to be happy and how to be holistic and how to impact the world. I had all of these dreams. You can have it all. That was my idea. And I wanted to show people how to do it. But you see, the mind comes up with all kinds of thoughts and ideas, right? So I have this beautiful story that I use about the fact that we have two dogs in our mind and they're barking all the time. Because the mind is very active, right? It's always making that noise. There are these two dogs and they're barking all the time. And One boy asked his grandmother, he says, "Grandmother, why are these two dogs fighting?"
Yeah.
Right? And she says, well, they don't get along because one dog is the dog of your positive voice and the other dog is the dog of your negative voice. That's why they fight. This fellow will always have a positive message for you and this guy will always have a negative message for you. Go for it. Oh, you better be careful, So he says, oh, I understand, Grandma. So out of these two, which one will win? Right?
Yeah.
And she says, the bigger dog usually wins, right? He says, yeah, but Grandma, which is the bigger dog?
Yeah.
And she says, well, it's very simple, son. And that's the secret of your life. Whichever dog you feed becomes a bigger dog and wins the fight.
Yeah.
And I knew that was happening with me.
Yeah.
You have one life, fulfill it, go for it, do your best, build something that you know is true for yourself. But it's so difficult. How can you go? Nobody will come to you. Nobody will believe you. There's 8 billion people in the world. You think nobody will believe you? It's going to be very difficult. No one knows about you. You've not even written a book, not written an article. Yeah. Today I've written 20 books. I have 4 best-selling books.
Yeah.
So if I had listened to this dog, I would still be living that life and having regrets.
Yeah.
Convincing myself, because we are all clever enough to convince ourselves why we didn't do what we needed to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just decided to listen to that voice.
Good. Very nice. I love the story, by the way. The first time I heard the story, I had goosebumps. Right? It's like whichever dog is who's gonna win? Right? Whichever you feed.
Yep.
And we live in a very noisy world, more than ever. Right? You can get distracted all the time by social media, by the news, what's going on around the world, and it's so loud. How then do you feed the dog that?
The positive dog.
Yeah, the positive dog, right? How then do you feed the positive ones?
Yeah, this is an amazing question because I think the world needs to listen to this. Yeah, because so the first thing is there's a couple of things we can do. The first of them is that we must make sure that we learn to find a technique, find a way to actually listen to the inner voice. Because even inside us, there's a number of voices. There's that negative voice, there's a fearful voice, there's that courageous voice, and then there's the real voice, the authentic me. But the authentic me is always free of conditioning. So the second thing we need to do is, first thing we need to find a technique to go inwards, but the second thing we need to do is to find a way to identify what is my conditioning. Because if I can't identify it, I don't know what to get off my plate. You see? So I need to identify what my conditioning is, so I'm just not listening to that voice.
Okay.
And the third thing I need to do is to find somebody to guide me. So I'm a big believer in coaching, mentorship, having, in ancient times they would call it a guru, a guide, but having someone who has walked the path to hold my hand. Everything we learn in life, Gabriel, we have learned from other people. Talking, we learn from other people. Dressing, we learn from other people. Eating, we learn from other people. Everything we learn from other people. But sometimes I find it very strange that we come to a point of time where we say, I don't need to learn.
I'm going to Google it.
Google, YouTube, I'll do something. I can do it on my own. I don't need to learn anymore. I'm good. And actually, whenever we come to that point, we are already regressing. We just don't realize it. It's the start of our downfall. So we need to find ourselves a good coach, a good guru, guide, mentor, and then the next thing we need to do is we need to limit what is our external stimulus, the kind of people we are surrounded by, the kind of media we listen to, because that can overwhelm us, right? That can overwhelm us. So those are the 3-4 steps we need to do to find that inner voice. And then once we do that, you get good at it because it's just like any other skill you learn. Right? The first time you do something, it's difficult. The second time you do it, easier. 10th time, it's automatic. Soon you're a master. Unconscious competence. Right? So you start somewhere and you get better and better at it. So I coach people through meditation, mindfulness.